First off, I would like to take the opportunity to thank John Flanders for the opportunity to share my observations with you all today. Labor Day, the first Monday in September, is the creation of the labor movement and is dedicated to the social and economic achievement of American workers. It constitutes a yearly national tribute to the contributions workers have made to the strength, prosperity, and well-being of our country. The first Labor Day was celebrated on Tuesday, September 5th, 1882, in New York City, in accordance with the plan of the Central Labor Union. The Central Labor Union held its second Labor Day holiday just a year later on September 5th, 1883. In 1884, the first Monday in September was selected as the holiday, and the Central Labor Union urged similar organizations in other cities to follow the example of New York and celebrate a workingman's holiday. The idea spread with the growth of labor organizations, and in 1885, Labor Day was celebrated in many industrial centers of our country. The vital force of labor added materially to the highest standard of living and the greatest production the world has ever known, and has brought us closer to the realization of our traditional ideals of economic and political democracy. It is appropriate, therefore, that the nation pay tribute on Labor Day to the creator of so much of the nation's strength, freedom, and leadership, the American worker. That's the textbook description of Labor Day in our country. For me, and I suspect for so many of you, I grew up in a period where Labor Day was just the name of a holiday, a Monday holiday that made for a 3-day weekend, a day for a family gathering, a picnic, a barbecue, hot dogs and hamburgers, a celebration recognizing the end of our traditional summer. That all changed for me, Jared Boehlke, on Mother's Day this year with the death of my husband. Jared was a railroad worker at the Selkirk Yard for 9 years and a member of the local 212. He was also a loving husband, father, and provider for our family, with that work ethic exemplified in the textbook description I spoke of earlier. The American worker to whom we pay tribute to on this day, a contributor to the nation's strength, freedom, and leadership. We tend to take for granted that these workers are entitled to a work environment free of life-threatening duties, like the coal miners of the South, or the dangerous situations that railroad workers are exposed to every working day. That is why I was asked to speak to you all today, to speak about the safety on the job, a subject with which I am sure you are all too familiar. My husband, Jared Boehlke, believed that he was entitled to a safe working environment that would provide for our family. He was the sole provider for our household, which allowed me to stay home and raise our daughter, Coral May. Safety issues in the railroad industry have been compromised for far too long. As of June this year, I am aware of 13 deaths related to on-the-job incidents, including that of my late husband. This is far too many husbands, fathers, friends, sons, and brothers lost. Something needs to be done to change the senseless loss of life. My 3-year-old daughter will never know the man that I knew. She will never again be comforted by him after a bad dream, or be there to soothe her after a skinned knee. And unfortunately, as she grows, her memory of her daddy will fade, and all she will be left with are photographs and the memories of others. Rather than the comforting arms of her father. He will never walk her down the aisle on the most important day of her life, a day that belongs to only one man, the father of his baby girl. My last memory of Jared is him swooping down to pick up his little girl for a goodbye that day. Little did we know that Daddy would never come home safe that night. With that in mind, I implore you all to be safe, watch yourself, question authority regarding your well-being, and never let your safety on the job be compromised for the sake of profit or your peril. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Jared Boehlke.